Hi everybody, welcome to another Premier Guns review on our YouTube channel. And today we're going to have a look at something which we've not done for, probably not done on our latest sort of foray into YouTube. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a look at the ladies range of Berettas, because a lot of people don't know the difference between what is technically a male gun and a female gun in terms of shotgun stock dimensions, what the differences are. I'm going to give my recommendations for each type of discipline, be it out in the field or clay shooting, and just educate you a bit more on the, like I said, the Beretta range of Vittoria over and under shotguns. So over the last sort of 5 or 6 years, ladies shooting has gone really popular. Okay, back in about 2000 and I think 14 or 15, Beretta launched their first ladies dedicated shotgun, which was the 690 Vittoria, built on a 690 platform. But the Vittoria, which is Italian for something to do with ladies, was all to do with the stock dimensions. So to put it into basic terms, the stock was shorter. It was higher because it got a Monte Carlo stock. It had less pitch because of the physical differences of males and females in terms of their requirements of a shotgun stock. And also it was shorter in the pistol grip. Now, these were a hit from day one because there wasn't really that many ladies dedicated shotguns on the market. You know, you've still only got a handful now. We've looked at the sort of the lower range of 88 and Coffs, which are great because they've got good dimensions and they're affordable. Because if you were to get sort of a cheaper gun and modify it in terms of what a lady would require, you just wouldn't do it for the price. Then you've got mid-range things like the Silver Pigeon 1s and Vittorias and the Browning Liberty Light. And then if you go higher than that, there's a couple of Caesar Guerini models. I believe Rosini do one. And also there's a quite an expensive Blaser. So Beretta's Vittoria stock, really popular here because we do an awful lot of lady shotguns. So I'm going to talk to you about the range, tell you what I think about the dimensions, etc. And we're going to start off with a basic Silver Pigeon 1 field. So I've got one here. This is a 28-inch field. And again, what we mean by field is that it's basically lighter because it's got a narrower rib. It's got a 6mm parallel rib, which makes it lighter, and there's usually a little bit less wood in the stock. Not the case with the Vittorias though, because the stocks are all the same. Silver Pigeon 1 engraving, it's the latest spec, 680 series action. We all love it, we all know it, we've all shot one, we've all owned one. Obviously check out the video if you want to know a bit more about 680 history. Scroll engraved, and like I said, the key thing for this is the stock. So with the Vittoria stock, first of all we've got a reduced pistol grip, and that's because largely females tend to have smaller hands, shorter fingers, and they can't cope quite often with the size of, I keep using the word male stock, it's not really, but obviously you know, this is a largely male dominated sport, so most shotgun manufacturers do design and manufacture and specify guns for blokes. It's just as simple as that. So if you've got something with a palm swell on, you know, it's going to be quite uncomfortable with a swept back grip, and females just aren't going to be able to touch the trigger properly and have a comfortable handhold position. So that's the bit with the grip. Now, in addition, we've got a Monte Carlo stock. So Monte Carlo essentially means it's like a parallel comb. There's not a lot of drop on it. So a conventional shotgun stock, like a Silver Pigeon, you would have 20-22 millimeters of drop from the drop at comb to the drop at heel. With a Monte Carlo, very little drop, 3-4 mil perhaps, with this little step. And what that enables the shooter to do is it gives them a more head-up shooting position. The video, I think we've talked about it before, the Browning 725 Pro Master, the Beretta A400 multi-target, and it's that kind of thing. It's a more head-up, and because females tend to have longer necks, higher cheekbones, they need a head-up shooting position because they can't physically get down onto a conventional shotgun stock. So that is really good. Okay, it's shorter in the length of pull. Typically a standard Beretta is 14 5/8 inches with an 18mm pad in situ. These are 13 3/4 as standard. Because again, you don't get too many females that are 6'2" or 3. The majority of them are 5'2" to 5'9". So a shorter stock to start off is a great idea. Of course, as with all Berettas, you can make the stock longer, shorter, etc., whatever you need to do. And on top of that, we've got less pitch. Now the pitch is the angle on the stock where it fits into the shoulder pocket. So with a female, what you basically need is you need less pitch so it sits more comfortable in that pocket. That's the only way I can really describe it, and it's all down to do with the physical differences of males and females in the chest area. So this is your Silver Pigeon 1. Now, even though a lot of the customers we get, the female customers, really just want to shoot clays, my recommendation would always be go for a field gun because it's a bit lighter. I'm not saying go for an alloy action field gun. I would always try and go down the route of steel because there's less felt recoil. And if you get something like this in a 30 inch with a decent recoil pad, 21 gram cartridges, they are unbeatable for shooting clays for ladies. So Silver Pigeon 1 Field is available in 12 and 20 gauge, 28 and 30 inch barrels, okay? And in addition, when I say I would recommend a field gun for shooting clays for ladies, 9 times out of 10 we just deactivate the auto safety because it's not something you tend to use out when you're in the field shooting clays as opposed to shooting game in the field, as it were. 20 bore, really nice. Again, we do a lot of work with ladies, shooting groups, country girls, etc., and it all comes down to application. So my recommendation is if a lady's just shooting game, I would probably go for a 20 gauge because they're very versatile. You can get all manner of different types of cartridges for them, and they're just nicer to walk around with in terms of wandering around and shooting game with. Equally, because the running costs are higher, but you are shooting less cartridges, it doesn't make a huge difference. If you're out every week shooting clays, running a 20 bore is always going to be quite expensive, so you should always take that into consideration. So there's your Silver Pigeon 1 Vittorias, 12 and 20 gauge in a field. They also do a sporter version. Now the sporter version I don't really like because it's just too clumsy. It doesn't handle very well, it's very barrel heavy. Because it's got the wider rib, the 10x8 rib with the extended chokes, and we've never really sold a massive amount of those guns simply because the ones we have done, we've had to play around with the balance to get the balance back over the hinge pin, and essentially it's ended up being a very heavy gun, which kind of defeats the object when you're looking at having a lighter gun for a female shooter. Apart from the Silver Pigeon 1, they do the Silver Pigeon 3. Now this is the next level up in terms of wood and engraving. So with the Silver Pigeon 3, this is the latest Silver Pigeon 3 again, check out the video, we have done one. So you've got an upgrade on the quality of the wood. This one's a particularly nice one, so it's a nice dark European walnut, and the engraving is different where you've got the laser engraved game scenes with the partridges and the pheasants and the ducks. Now this is my go-to ladies gun, simply because I think with it being a bit prettier, it's a bit more appealing to a female, and females don't change their guns like guys do. It's as simple as that. You know, we get guys in the shop week in, week out, looking at stuff, changing their mind, doing different things with their guns. I think this, for me, is about the right level that a female shooter would want to certainly spend on a gun, and also would need, because ultimately it's down to fit. If you get a gun that fits, it's going to last you an awful long time. I mean, my partner shoots one of these with an adjustable comb. Absolutely brilliant. She shoots game and clays, you know, at a reasonable level. And I think, like I said, because female shooters don't tend to shoot as much as guys, and that's not being patronising, that's just how it is. Something like this, fitted, is going to last a lifetime, no question whatsoever. My personal opinion is that the ladies' guns are £4,000, £5,000, £6,000. I don't think there's a market for that, certainly in the UK, because we don't have the level of female competition shooters, certainly. And in most cases, when you get to that level, regardless of whether you're a male or a female, then you can we can alter guns to suit anyway. So Silver Pigeon 3, nice wood, nice engraving. Obviously it's worth pointing out, 680 series action, all steel shot proofed, all multi-choke. Now, the one thing they do which is a bit different in the Silver Pigeon 3, they do a factory adjustable sporter. Now, even though I said I don't like the Silver Pigeon 1, this is a bit of a different animal really, and we only tend to sell it in the shorter barrel lengths. Now, as with all Beretta B fast stock systems, quite often you don't get quite enough adjustment out of them. We've talked about this time and time again with 694s, 690s, etc. This is pretty good. There is enough height in this on most occasions to fit this to a lady, even with a long neck, and I really like this gun. a bit of extra weight with it being the 10x8 with the extended chokes, and it just feels good. They do it in a 30. I've never actually sold one because I think because of the weight of this particular shotgun, it's steady enough to get away without having longer barrels. Whereas with the field gun, with it being lighter, I would always go for the longer barrels because they're that much more pointable and that much more steady. So Silver Pigeon 3, factory adjustable sporter with the B-Fast system. You'll notice there's a difference in the checkering between the Silver Pigeon 1 and the Silver Pigeon 3. Both got Schnabel forends, but like I say, different checkering, different finish on the stock, different quality of walnut and different engraving. So last year, I believe, Beretta launched the Ultra Leggero. Now the Ultra Leggero, I don't think we've done a video on, but it's Italian for ultralight, and it replaced the old alloy action teeth breaker of a game gun that they used to produce from sort of about 2000 to about 2014 or 15 from memory, maybe 16. And that was a lightweight game gun designed for largely shooting in the mountains, in Italy, on the continent, in Europe, wherever you like. And the idea was you walk around with a gun that weighed absolutely nothing and had half a dozen shots. The problem with those kind of guns, if you then try and use them as a transition to shooting clays for ladies, kids, whatever, the recoil is just horrific. It's always been horrific. You have to set them up properly with a decent recoil pad, with a light load cartridge. So what Beretta did is they launched the new ultralight, Ultra Leggero, and they did it on the 690 platform. So 690 platform, for those of you who don't know, is wider profile, much better balanced. But what they did is they used like a tri-metal action with polymer bits on it to reduce the weight. Now, what they achieved by doing that is they got the lighter weight gun like they had with the previous ultralight, but without the recoil problems, because it was the overbore barrels with the longer chokes. What they did do is took the center rib out to make it lighter. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because it's available in Vittoria spec. So I would recommend one of these to a female that wants a 12 but wants the weight of a 20, which is essentially what this is. You know, this gun weighs a little over £6, which is about what you'd normally get for the likes of a 20 bore Silver Pigeon. Doesn't weigh anything at all, and with light loads and a decent recoil pad, which again I keep going on about because it's all about comfort, it's about reducing recoil. Many females, when they first start shooting, have a bad experience because they're given an ill-fitted, in inverted commas, guy's gun, which is too long, too low, smacks them in the face. So it's very important, certainly from our point of view, that first experience is a good one. So we talk about light load, recoil pads, and it's not a sales pitch to get you to change your gun or to have it altered. In my eyes, it's absolutely essential that you get it right from the off. So no difference between the 1, the 3 and the 690 in terms of stock dimensions. We've got the Vittoria, so we've got the reduced pistol grip, the Monte Carlo, the reduced pitch and the reduced stock length, but it is a much lighter gun. Available in 12 gauge only, 28 and 30 inch field specification. Hope that's given you a bit of an insight into the kind of the difference between a standard stock, I'm not going to call it a guy stock, but a standard stock and a ladies dedicated stock. Now what I want to do before we go is I just want to show you the physical difference with the two guns and side by side, over under, call it what you like, so you can see for yourself, because then when you go into a shop, it will give you a little bit of education, because we get a lot of guys in here and they say, look, I want to take my wife shooting and my partner shooting, but I don't really know what to get her. And that's the best thing to do. Take the advice, speak to a professional. You know, obviously we do an awful lot of work with ladies shooters and with ladies shotguns. We probably carry 40, 50 at any one time, because I keep banging on about it, but it's really important that first experience of when someone pulls a trigger on a shotgun is a pleasurable one, is a comfortable one. And if it's not, the chances of them taking up the sport are very slim. So just to finish, I'm going to take, this is a Silver Pigeon 1 Sporter. I'm just going to take it apart and I'm going to show you the physical differences in the stocks that we've talked about. So next to it, I'm going to get this Vittoria, this little 20 gauge. Doesn't make a difference whether you have a 12 or a 20, the stock dimensions are all the same. If I'm being super critical, they are a little bit on the low side. I would have them a bit higher, and 9 times out of 10 when we supply one of these we would still have to fit it with an adjustable cone. So there's your 20 bore Vittoria, and there's your 12. So you can see straight away the difference in the radius, the depth of the pistol grip. Much shorter on the Vittoria, because just to reiterate, females usually have smaller hands, shorter fingers. And to be fair, it's not just females. We have sold Vittorias over the years to sort of smaller frame guys, and they're absolutely great. They're ideal for what they want, because if you're a smaller frame, the chances are you're going to be shorter, you're going to have shorter arms, shorter forearms, etc., and it just works. So shorter pistol grip. Difference there in the pitch, which you can probably just about see. The angle of the stock is different to the Silver Pigeon Sporter, regardless of the thickness of the pad. And if I put the trigger guards in line with each other, then the stock length is noticeably different. Okay, and you can just see, whereas we've got the conventional amount of drop on the stock of the Sporting Silver Pigeon, which is the one at the top, you've got this Monte Carlo, which makes for a more head-up shooting position, which is so beneficial for female shooters, or even guys with with long necks. In my opinion, there's not enough guns on the market that have got factory Monte Carlo stocks, and I think there should be more. So that wraps up really the Beretta Vittoria range. Now there is one I haven't spoke about, which is the 694. So 694 is one of Beretta's flagship competition guns. They do a Vittoria spec, only available in adjustable, and although it has got the reduced grip, it has got a bit of a palm swell because it is more of an out-and-out clay gun. Not something we tend to sell a lot of, and I think again that's just because of the price point. They are quite expensive in terms of what other ladies' guns there are out there on the market, which you can get your hands on. So, like I said, we do an awful lot with ladies' shotguns. Any questions, comment below, get in touch, drop us an email. We'll be more than happy to help you or your wife, your partner, get out on their shooting journey, get it right, get it fitted, do it properly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.